Okay, everyone, I want to thank everyone for coming this evening. My name is Joe Ruffalo. I am the GM of The Hill, and we cannot be more excited to have everyone here. We are the leading politics and policy site in the city, and not only do we like to cover the news of what's happening, but we think it's also important to recognize all the people that make it happen. And tonight, we're really going to focus on people that do make everything happen in the background. Sometimes we don't know their names, but I think it's important to recognize them. So if you'll see tonight, people that have a yellow sticker on their name tag, hopefully you already know them and have read The Hill and everything about them. But if they could raise their hand, just so we can do a moment to congratulate all of them and thank them. Great. I also want to thank our many sponsors who made this night happen, particularly Samsung, who provided this amazing venue for us. It's amazing. Amazon, the American Investment Council, Quantum Computing, and Connect. So we're going to do a few quick presentations here. First, I would like to welcome Jennifer Setta, who is the Head of Government Relations for Samsung Electronics America.
Thanks so much, Joe. It's such a great evening. Gosh, what a great crowd. Thank you all for being here. As Joe said, I'm Jennifer Setta. I head the government relations team here at Samsung Electronics America. And on behalf of all my great colleagues here, I just wanted to welcome you to our space here. And, we're just very proud to be the venue for this signature event that The Hill is hosting today. And I think that everyone in this room would agree, especially the Congressman Cole and Congressman Hill, that members of Congress rely heavily on their staff to do their job. And so it's not often that we get to laud the unsung heroes in the House and the Senate and recognize them for their hard work. So we're really excited to do that this evening. It's such a privilege to celebrate the dedication and commitment of the Hill's 25 notable staffers this evening. We're really grateful to the honorees and all the congressional staff, candidly, who are gathered here for your dedication and commitment to public service. At Samsung, our commitment to innovation and excellence is one that is well reflected in our partnership with The Hill in honoring the men and women who really value public service and whose countless hours and commitment have brought meaningful change to millions of Americans. Again, we just want to congratulate tonight's honorees. And, this is an impressive achievement. We're very proud to play a small role in tonight's event in recognizing your leadership and hard work. And thank you for paving the way for future generations of leaders. We look forward to celebrating with you this evening, so enjoy it, and thanks so much. Back to you, Joe.
Thank you. Now I'd like to invite up Ben Gilo, who is the Head of Political Affairs and Public Policy for Amazon. Thank you.
Hi, everybody. I am Ben Gilo. I lead the political affairs team at Amazon, and it's an honor to be here because we actually get to honor staff for once. As a former staffer myself, first as an unpaid Senate intern while in college, and then as a legislative counsel for a member graduating after I graduated law school, I know how awkward this must be for all of the award recipients, and I think that that's awesome. So, good. Enjoy it, because this is really about you. Good staffers always look for ways to position their boss for positive recognition, trying not to take credit for themselves, but to be honest, we all know really where the work gets done, and it is with the staff. The one thing that I liked about my time on the Hill is I got to staff my boss on the Committee on House Administration, and that was a great opportunity to actually learn how the House operates and how every office is different and how difficult it can be to set up and to run an office. And I know it takes a lot of talented staff to really make that happen. Whether it is connecting with constituents from personal offices, communicating to members from leadership offices, or working on committee staff, trying to get witnesses and to get information, the work you do is critical for the functioning of the Congress. So on behalf of Amazon, I just wanted to say thank you to The Hill and to Samsung for hosting this great event. And thank you to the staffers for your service, and congratulations to those that were recognized. Enjoy the spotlight that is on you tonight. And Joe, I heard there's a line around the block to get in, so this is going to be an awesome party tonight. So thank you for having us, and thank you. Bye.
Now we're going to have a brief panel discussion. We are lucky enough to have Congressman Cole and Congressman Hill here, and our magnificent congressional reporter, Michael Schnell, is going to lead that discussion.
Thanks, Joe. Thanks, gang. Congressman Cole, Congressman Hill. Busy day in Capitol Hill today, but I appreciate you guys coming out. So, the Capitol is a big building. There are a lot of members, but there are even more staffers. So I want to first start off by asking you guys about the importance of staffers in sort of making the whole process on Capitol Hill work. And Congressman Hill, I want to start with you because you were a staffer yourself just a couple of years back. You worked for Texas Senator John Tower from 1982 to 1984, and you were also a staff member for the Senate Banking, Housing, and Urban Affairs Committee. So if you can start off the conversation just talking about the importance of staffers on Capitol Hill.
Well, there's no better example on how important staff is because staff single-handedly this week has completely disrupted the appropriation process so we could have this party tonight. Amazing. No, I do come at my job in Congress with the perspective of a former staffer because the staff does make the Capitol Hill work and work effectively, and events like this that let them get to know each other better, and the training that's now provided on Capitol Hill in management and all kinds of ways to improve their essentially leadership skills, I think is such a difference from the generation ago when I was a staffer. So my approach has been simple. I brought some of the management techniques I had in the private sector to my work on Capitol Hill. We have job descriptions, we have an annual bonus program, we have an evaluation program, we have a strategic and operating plan. We set individual goals for that during the year. And then we try to reward people for those that go above and beyond in meeting those objectives and serving our constituents.
Congressman Cole, the importance of staffers on Capitol Hill.
Well, I was a staffer myself, but I was a district director, and I actually remember once getting the offer to come up to Capitol Hill from my member, and I said, "Are you kidding me? I've been up there. They work too hard. You guys are around all the time. It's a mess." So, look, it just doesn't work without staff. And by the way, I'm happy my staff can see me in my almost natural pose with a drink in one hand and almost a cigar in the other.
I was going to say, there's no cigar here,
There's
so
no
it's not
cigar,
complete.
but this kind of looks like one. It's close, it's up not near the mouth. But look, the place doesn't work without them, and we all know that. And quite frankly, it works better because of the quality. I would point to my staff director, Kelly Dixon. You could not have a better person, more respected on both sides of the aisle. So indispensable to the operation. When it gets screwed up, it's usually guys like French and me that screwed it up. It's not the staff. And so the members get in the way of good government more often than they advance it.
Boy, that's for sure.
And now, a big part of the job is staffers handle a lot of sensitive topics, right? You guys are only one member. Sometimes you can't cover everything, so you have staffers who can represent you, speak for you. Talk a little bit about building that trust between a staffer and a member and how important that is to having a successful office on Capitol Hill.
Well, relationships between members when it comes to sensitive topics, it doesn't have to be an intelligence matter. It can be just working out the differences on a bill. In party or intra-party, each member's word is their bond. I mean, we have got to be able to have trust across Capitol Hill to move legislation and policy forward, and that translates to the staff. So that legislative director, that LA, that chief of staff speaks for the member, and vice versa on both sides of the Capitol and in both political parties, and that is essential. And what a great element of how our society should work, right? So I think you build that trust by earning that trust both ways between the member and between the staff.
Well, the reality is most of the time when you're approached as a member, they've come to your staff before they ever come to talk to you. And the, the person, whether it's a lobbyist or another member or whomever, will say, well, what will so-and-so think about this? And so one of the things you want in a really great staffer is somebody that can look them in the eye and say, about 90% of the time, this is going to be the answer. So you need to be prepared. This person's going to say yes or no, and that's what you're going to run into. About 5% of the time, they'll say, I know what the answer is going to be, but he or she, the principal, is going to want to say it themselves. So this is what they're going to say, but you need to go talk to them because they don't want to leave. And about 5% of the time, they got to be smart to say, I don't know what the hell that guy's going to say. So we'll put it in front of them, or you can go take your chances. But really good staffers, know their members. And again, I think that's where French and I are blessed, and many other members as well. You have staffers that really are not just an extension of you. They know you so well that they can predict what you're going to do and say it with confidence. And quite honestly, quite often, spare somebody who's coming to you some embarrassment, give them some insight, but they're always grateful because nobody wants to hear no from the member. They'd rather hear this is likely to be a no, so do you really want to go? And that saves both you and the person who's making the request a problem.
When you talk about staffers on Capitol Hill, something that sometimes comes up is some of the working conditions that staffers have. It's very long hours, as we saw just this week, and oftentimes it's low pay. So I'm curious, A, how do you guys foster strong working environments in your offices? And B, how do you work to retain make sure that younger staffers don't get burned out? On Capitol Hill, there are plenty of lifers who have been there for years, but oftentimes some people have to step out of the Capitol and go somewhere else after a couple of years just because of the rigor of the job.
Well, I'm blessed with Brooke Bennett as my chief, who's got 18 years on Capitol Hill. So I don't know what percentage of our staff have been on Capitol Hill for 18 years, but it's a real credit to her affection for good government. And I know Kelly's been on Capitol. How long has Kelly been on Capitol Hill?
24 years.
24 years. So, Kelly, you guys are a great team. But here's my view on that. It's critical that you have the right people in the right seats, and then you set expectations. Are you here to get 2 or 3 years of policy experience, then move on with your career? Or is this someplace where you want to commit as a career and then craft training and support for that? And finally, have a succession plan where you're able to recruit and train those who come up behind your top leaders so that you're never left in a lurch, and that constant movement on the Hill is a positive thing, both for the employees and for the members.
Well, as usual, French is smarter and much more learned. We're really pretty simple in our operation. Somebody comes and applies for a job, we ask them 2 questions. Does cigar smoke offend you? Because if it does, this is the wrong place. He ain't going to quit smoking. And the second question is, do you like to have a drink? You don't have to, but does it bother you if somebody else does? But look, I don't have any problem with setting really high standards of working hard, and I think I've been really blessed with staff, but the personal office and the committee offices I've had that have worked hard. But they've got to be able to play hard. Now, my dad was a career master sergeant in the United States Air Force. He used to have a great saying, every now and then you need to liquor up the troops. And so we're going to have those kind of sessions. The things I value the most, honestly, is when they are so comfortable working with you that you can sit down, have a drink, be together, and you're going to get an honest opinion, or you're going to get some insight, because staff watches members more closely than members watch members. And staff understand things that members never even see. And so if you have the right relationship with your staff, I promise you, you learn more about the other members and the process that's unfolding in front of you than you would ever figure out yourself.
We're running out of time. We only have about 2 minutes left. But I want to give each of you an opportunity to share a favorite anecdote or a favorite memory about the staffer who's here representing you, who was on the Hill's top 25 list. So for Mr. Chairman Cole, that's Kelly Dixon Chambers, Staff Director for the House Rules Committee Republicans. For Congressman Hill, that's Brooke Bennett, your Chief of Staff. So if both of you just briefly could share a favorite memory or anecdote about them.
Well, I shouldn't actually say this, and I won't use any names, but Kelly's had a whole succession of positions over the years with terrific members. She worked for a particular one that I had a problem with. She happened to mention that, and I said, well, don't worry, everybody's got something they should be ashamed of. But the point is, she is so valuable that the reality is, I would trust her with my life. I trust her with my political life. I trust her with our professional life. Much more importantly, I trust her with our conference and how we present ourselves to our friends on the other side of the aisle, and they are my friends, and how we present ourselves more largely to the public. And she's never, ever, ever let me down, but more importantly, she's never let our conference down and never let the institution down.
Well, I've just been so honored that Brooke Bennett has served me for 9 years as my Chief of Staff. And my legislative director's been there 9 years as well. Both worked for my predecessor, who's now the Attorney General of Arkansas, Tim Griffin. Both survived Tim Griffin because I don't have ADD and he does. But I'm so honored for that longevity because I agree with Tom Cole. I trust Brooke's leadership. I trust her judgment. She's got a great ability to set goals and achieve them. She's done something that's so important, which is build a relationship for the family of the congressman. She and my wife, also a lawyer. I'm surrounded by two smart female lawyers in my life, but it's been good. It's a reputation of trust and a performance, and I couldn't replace her. So, Brooke, congratulations. I'm so proud of you.
All right. Congressman Tom Cole, Congressman French Hill, thank you guys so much for joining us and for having this conversation.
Thank you so much. That was great. We have two quick comments that we're still going to hear from. First, I'd like to welcome up Brad Bailey, who is SVP Government Affairs for the American Investment Council.
Thank you very much. I'm Brad Bailey. I'm the Senior Vice President of Government Affairs at the American Investment Council. We're up on the Hill all the time representing the 85% of our investments that go to small businesses in every single congressional district across the country, and our biggest investors, pension plans in your states and congressional districts. When the Hill reached out to us about this event, Emily Schillinger, our communications director, and I thought, what a cool opportunity. This is exactly the type of thing that should be going on in Washington. And so to be able to have the honor to sponsor the inaugural event is just an amazing thing. So looking around, obviously a success. It's so awesome that not only the honorees showed up tonight, but so many of your teams did as well. And so I don't have a drink in my hand, but when I do, cheers. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. And now I'd like to bring up Bob Laskowski, who is the President and CEO and Chairman of Quantum Computing.
So last speaker, I will be brief because I know I'm between you and cocktails. So I just want to say personally, thank you for all the staff work. The staffers here are the backbone of the legislative process, without a doubt. I've had personal experience on both sides of it when I was in the executive branch at DHS when we stood that up, and now in the private sector. All I want to say is thank you, and whatever we can do to support you, you have our continued support. We're proud to be sponsors here. Have a great evening, and good luck. Thank you.
Okay, I just want to say a quick thank you to everyone for coming tonight. For our 25 notable staffers, if you could come up here after, we're going to take a picture. I also want to just one last thank you to our sponsors, Samsung, Amazon, the American Investment Council, Quantum Computing, and Connect. There is actually a second bar back on the patio that we welcome people to go to as well. And stay tuned for more from the Hill. Thank you so much.